Hey everybody, it's Unique. For those of you that don't already know who I am, for those of you that do, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to try to keep this as short and to the point as possible. You know, I like to talk and kind of like go on my little tangents and veer off a little bit, but I'm going to try to stay right here. So, I felt the need to make a video on the eve of my 42nd birthday, which is coming up in the next, 4 days or so? 4 or 5 days? I think 4 days. On the 16th. And immediately following my birthday, we start the new Chinese year, the year of the fire horse. And the fire horse is going to bring with it some life-changing energies, and it's going to take us full speed ahead, whether you're ready for it or not. And I really wanted to speak to how important it is for us to make sure that we are as light as a feather, that our hearts are as light as a feather. And some of y'all probably wondering what I mean by that. Whatever has been causing you pain in your life up to this point, it's time to lay it out. It's time to lay everything on the table. Look at everything. It's time to look at everything and release it. I've been doing this for the past few months now. And now I'm to the space where I've laid it all out and I set fire to it. Let the ashes go up into the universe, into the sea of forgetfulness. I am literally starting my life all over again from scratch at the age of 42. I am starting over completely. Everything that I thought I knew, every decision that I made from a space of fear and uncertainty, every relationship, every job, even how I interacted with people and the way that I would communicate with people. I had to lay it all out. The projection, the passive aggressiveness, everything. I had to lay everything on out there. Lay it all out there and look at it. Fix it. And release it. That's for everybody. But the main point of me making this video today is to address something that a lot of people don't really like to shed light on. And this is for my ladies with children. A lot of us have not so pretty feelings in regards to being a mother. I will be the first to say that I suffered in silence for well over 20 years simply because I felt a lot of guilt and shame around being a mother and what all it entailed, and the fact that I was not actually receptive and open to the role that I stepped into at such a young age. I was in denial. I was always under the impression from the groupthink society and what I thought was the right thing according to everybody else's projections. I thought that being a mom meant that I no longer exist, that I needed to martyr myself in order to be deemed a good mother. And I had to martyr, I had to sacrifice everything. I could no longer dream big. It was no longer about me. Everything was about my child. And yes, we do make a lot of sacrifices for our children. However, we were never supposed to completely set ourselves on the wayside, all in the name of being a good mom. That was never supposed to happen. That was never supposed to happen. They even tell you when you on the flight and you listening to the flight attendant, they tell you in case of an emergency, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself and then place it on the child. We as women, we as mothers, we have to be the best version of ourselves and have a full cup before we can ever show up fully and wholly for anyone else. Anyone. For our children or anyone else. We have to be whole within ourselves. We have to have a full cup. So, a lot of us are in states of chronic stress, crashing out, nervous breakdowns, even though that's the same thing, but we're not well. We're not well because we're not operating in a space of love. Yeah, you feel like, well, I love my kids. I show up for my kids. So it is love. But if you're not showing up for yourself too, that's not love. A lot of us, especially us that had children from a young age, I'm just using myself. I never got the opportunity. I never allowed myself the opportunity to learn who I am before I ever allowed myself to bring a child into this world. I forfeited the opportunity to grow and to nourish and show up for myself in a way that I needed before I brought someone else in. We have to stop hustling backwards. We are not using our power the right way. We are not using our power for good. We're running around here using our creative energy haphazardly, just bringing bringing children into this world and not even being intentional with what we're doing. It has to stop. In order to show up in love fully, we have to show up intentionally. Go watch that movie if you haven't seen it on Netflix, Frankenstein, the new one on Netflix. Go check it out. We gotta stop creating without intention and leaving everything to chance. Just throwing our hands in the air. Well, God don't make no mistakes. Like, we gotta stop that. We gotta stop that. Okay? Don't put it on God. We gotta put it on ourselves. It's time for us to move fully in love. And accountability is love. There were times where I wanted this life to be over. I used to pray and wish for a do-over. Like, man, I wish it was as easy as it is on a video game where you just bloop and then boom, you back, you get to start the level over. Like, I used to always wish for something like that. Not realizing that my grief stemmed from the fact that I never truly stepped into my power before I gave it away, before I started creating. In a perfect world, yeah, I would still have my children, just at a different space in my life. So for many years, I grieved who I could have been. I grieved myself. Walking around as a shell of myself. An incomplete version of myself. I was in mourning. I was mourning myself for many years. I carried that around in my heart. And because I carried so much grief in my heart, as within, so without. Things just were not going well in my relationships, all my relationships. My relationship with my eldest, my relationships with friends and family. Things were not the way that they should have been. It's time for us to do the real open heart surgery and remove the things that are bringing us down. For so many years, I suffered in silence about how I truly felt. I didn't think that I could share that with anybody because I was always afraid that I would be judged harshly about how I felt, because I didn't approach motherhood the way all the other women, the other mothers around me did. And because of that, I always felt like there was something wrong with me. But then, fast forward, I started to see a lot more women on social media, coming out, like, I'm talking about on their videos, like weeping, talking about how they hate the choice they made. They wish that they could go back. A lot of women are just tired. They want help. They need a village. They just, in a state of chronic stress. Like, it's bad. And once I saw that, I wasn't the only one with nuanced emotions around around taking the role of being a mother, around being a mom. Once I realized that I wasn't the only one, I knew, even in my fear, I knew that I had to create a community, a sanctuary for us. I knew that I had to share what was in my heart. Just like in the ancient axiom by Rumi, the wound is the place where the light shines through. Basically meaning your biggest heartbreak in life is going to bring forth your biggest transformation. And for me, that was my biggest heartbreak. And like I said before, it has nothing to do with my children. This was a me thing. This is a me thing. Like a lot of women in that situation will say, it's not about the children. We love our children. It's just that we are not and have not been loving ourselves on the level that we need to not be swayed by outside influences, to not be swayed by the groupthink of how we should or should not do things, or the choices that we should or should not make. We were not loving ourselves enough to pour into ourselves and be whole so that we can nurture the children the right way and love them the right way. So everybody's been suffering. We no longer have to suffer. Suffering is a choice. We no longer have to suffer. I knew in my heart that it was time for me to create this sanctuary. It was time for me to create the Motherhood Backstage. That community is for any woman who has been suffering in silence. That community is a sanctuary for healing, whether you want to just show up and vent and just know that space is being held for you. If you want to show up in a way that is as a person that's, sharing information on how to regulate your nervous system in hard times, ways to practice self-care, and ways to create healthy boundaries. If you want to show up in that way, if you want to even go deeper and go into a full transformation in the community, it's levels for everybody, wherever they are in the journey, for every woman on this journey. It's something for all of us there. And so, it took a lot for me to put myself out there like this, and to even to reveal the face behind the community, because for a while I was like, maybe I want to stay anonymous, but there is so much that I really want to start to share from the heart. And I feel like, I feel brave enough now to be able to share like this. Because knowing that it's going to help somebody else this is what it's all about. Any woman that feels like she's ready to join the community, I welcome you. The link is in the comments. The link is in my bio. I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be recording a whole lot more than I used to, just because I know it's time. It's time now. I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to let you all know that you are loved and you are not alone. May this video find the women that need it the most. May it find the women that are suffering in silence, that feel like nobody will understand them. I understand you. And we are here. Until we meet again, I thank you, I love you, and I appreciate you.